Monster of the Month Club. It's your friendly neighborhood mad scientist, me, Laura E. And today we are going to do a little bit of a thrift haul video. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the doll I found, and then I'm going to describe my plan on how to transform it into this week's Switch. Today's experiment is on a Mattel Sleeping Beauty, I believe, Disney Princess Toddler Doll. The transformation starts just like any other. I begin by using my 100% acetone to remove the factory paint and my tiny scissors to remove her hair. This was a fairly easy wipe, and she had some dirt on her too because I did get her from the local thrift store. I'm not sure which one, I don't remember. One of them has really good Monster High dolls and the other one has really good Disney toddler dolls. But sometimes they switch. It's a thrift store. It's always a toss-up and an adventure. I got a good stash from one of my local thrift stores of these girls. I'm going to take off her dress now, and that I will use to make a pattern for the red dress that I interpreted in my illustration. It's the red dress that Elaine wears in The Love Witch. I start cutting the hair. This was a little bit more difficult than I anticipated. I hadn't done this in a while, I guess. I was trimming, try to pull the hair top basically and trim it as close to the root as possible. That can be a bit of a challenge, but I got through it. I think I probably will take a electric razor to her hair to make it a little bit shorter. And I'm not even entirely sure I'm gonna use the head for this doll. I might just substitute another head, but we'll see. So I know I've mentioned this before, but I've put a link in the description to a really interesting article and video about the Disney Princess line and how it was originally licensed to Mattel, and then in 2012 when Barbie sales started tanking and less attention was given to the princesses, Disney went to Hasbro and they took over the line. There was mixed reactions from collectors, but recently, I guess, there has been some more drama, but they have a really cool video over there that kind of explains it. And if you're interested in that type of thing, it's definitely worth a watch. And it's a cute little video and an interesting article. Now I start to take apart the dress so I can utilize it as pattern pieces for the red dress I intend to make. I paid careful attention to the construction so I could figure out how to put it together. So basically you take it apart and then put it back together in reverse of the way you took it apart. So I started with the back seam, then removed the skirt from the bodice, and it's a really slow process, especially since this fabric, it's a satin, I guess. It's really fragile, it's been through some things, so I had to be super careful not to shred it or rip it apart, as it already had a few rips and tears due to whoever was playing with it before. This is an Elsa dress, which I filched from another doll in my toy bin. I like the shape of the dress, and I figured it went well with the type of dress I was looking to build, and it makes it so much easier than trying to figure out a pattern because this already is made to fit the type of doll that I have. I finally, after a few hours of tediously picking every seam out, I had all the pieces and I had to make sure I kept them in order so I didn't mess it up. But I ironed them flat because they basically ruched up the skirt to make it fit to the bodice. I had to iron out each piece carefully on the lowest setting because it is a synthetic fiber. You don't want to melt it. I had to pick out some of the excess thread that was still left in there, and so I ironed the skirt first because those are bigger pieces and I figured it would take a little longer, being careful to iron out all the folds on the seams and making sure to keep the pieces in order so I didn't get confused later and put the wrong piece somewhere.
Then I went for the bodice. One of the bodice side back pieces was really frayed. I think I'll still be able to get the general shape. If not, I can always use the piece that is less frayed. I was really worried about the sleeves. Those actually didn't fray at all, so that was good. What I decided to do to make it easier for me, I decided to Mod Podge them onto some chipboard, some pretty thin chipboard. I trimmed off all the excess, like wispies and threads, but because they were so frayed and I was worried to preserve them, I Mod Podged them onto chipboard and then let them dry, and then I was going to cut them out, and then I'd have my pattern pieces and I could label them as I wished. They're still drying right now as I record this, but that will be for the What's on the Slab in My Lab video coming Friday. You will see the creation of the dress and me finishing up the doll. And also, I go live on Instagram Mondays through Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're interested in seeing more like real time of me working on the dolls, that is a good place to start.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like dolls, monsters, or fun crafts, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along on social media for all the creepy crawly fun. And until next time, stay spooky, friends!